Hey guys, what's up? Week 41. This is going to be a little different than a lot of my other weekly videos. Not the actual video, but the setup, the format. I'm going to go in depth a little bit on the pickups. Not that I've seen them all or anything, but I'm just going to read the backs a little bit because this is going to be the first time that I'm actually all caught up with the audio version. So they're going to be the podcast, the Shut Up Brandon feed. The podcast is going to be going live at the same time as the video will be going live, and you'll see a link hosted at the Screaming Toilet page as always. So now if you choose to listen to them on a podcast format, there'll be a little bit of alterations, but it'll pretty much be the same thing. I got a few movies for you to review this week. I'm shooting it a little early, so if you asked a question this week and it didn't get answered, don't worry about it. You'll be entered in the Pick a Movie competition if you entered that next week as well, and the question will be answered next week, so no sweat. The first one I'll be reviewing for you is Orchestra, a Rehearsal by Fellini. This is another Fellini flick. This is from Arrow Academy. I like what they're doing. The last Fellini movie I enjoyed it, but this one I really liked. This one's made in '83, I believe it was made. And this is a very strange story. It's shot kind of like a documentary. You almost think, well, this is a documentary style. We have all these this big orchestra band and their rehearsal, and this film crew comes in and they start to interview everyone, and everyone is very odd and very different. They talk about their musical instruments, why they're important, who they are, where they came from, and you realize there's just like this break in this group. They're definitely divided. Some of these, and it comes into Italian politics, which, you know, I don't know much about, but you have this strong union presence, and then we have these old kind of like fascist regime that just want to practice, no breaks, nothing. We have this younger crowd who's more of the union, yeah, we don't want a conductor to come in harsh, we don't want him to tell us what to do, and we have people that are indifferent, and this kind of sums up the whole population, I believe, in Italy at the time. It sums up, it may be just done in this small documentary about this orchestra, but in reality it's about everything. It's about how everyone is, in a way, and that's very interesting. A lot of the characters are weird and zany and bizarre, and a lot of them are very funny, very angry, very crazy, but a couple of them are really touching, especially the guy who plays the tuba. He says, you know, I picked the tuba because it was sad and nobody wanted it, and I feel like we have a connection in that way. And there's a lot of beautiful dialogue between all of them, and their differences, and a lot of humor and insanity and absurdity, which I enjoy. I thought this was a really cool movie, and at the end of the movie, when it all boils over and some crazy things happen, in a way you realize that they're all in this together. And it sometimes takes something tragic and dramatic for everyone to realize that. And at the end, it shows you that things aren't necessarily going to change, but things will possibly get done. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice look into Italian politics, and I thought it was done in a way that was neither annoying nor convoluted. I really liked it, actually. There's a couple interviews on here. One of the guys is it's a video essay, and he talks about this being Fellini's most political movie. The other guy basically is on there who knew the conductor, or the guy who helped to compose the music for Fellini for the movie, for all his movies, for most of his movies. And he talks about this. He didn't want it to be as political as some people may have thought it was. But it's a nice release. It looks great. It sounds great, and it's a really interesting movie that I dug the hell out of. I thought it was really cool. And if anybody, Dario Argento fans or Ruggiero Deodato fans will spot somebody from one of his movies, Cristina Bolero, he pops in, tiny cameo, but a nice release from Arrow Academy and an interesting movie for sure.
Clarinetto di Toscanini, vuole prego essere gentile e ripetere lei solo 4 battute dopo di numero 82?
No, maestro. Io ho suonato una volta. Ho suonato la seconda, la terza, per accordo sindacale, non si suona.
Il collega ha ragione. Il passaggio va fatto da tutta la sezione insieme, o tutti o nessuno.
Ma che sta, ritorna a scuola? Qui siamo tutti maggiorenni.
Sì, al posto di lei penserei un poco meno agli sindacati e un poco più alla musica. E io insisto ancora. Se Wagner Avrebbe potuto conoscere sindacati e sciopero, egli mai aveva scritto tutta sua opera.
Sì, ma questo lo voleva colpa ai sindacati, se non riesce a scrivere niente di buono.
Già, a me manca la pace, la tranquillità e il silenzio. Questa è vita di merda.
Ecco, quella merda lì, se la spalma sulla bacchetta, poi ci dà una bella leccatina.
Dal cominciamento 5-0, Flicorno preco.
Ma cos'è che è stato?
Flicorno? Dov'è Flicorno?
E non è venuto.
Che vuole dire non è venuto?
E che ne so? Non c'è.
60-40, che?
Ah, il Flicorno non ha potuto venire, maestro, perché?
Come perché? Solamente ora io so Flicorno non è qui.
Allora mi correggo. Non è che non ha potuto venire, non ha voluto venire.
Il segno di protesta, maestro. D'accordo col sindacato provinciale di cui ben ti voglio far
Chi
parte.
adesso suona Flicorno? Sua sorella?
Ah, maestro, lasciamo stare mia sorella che non c'entra e non tocchiamo i parenti, eh?
Io non ho detto sua...
Lei ha detto sua sorella, ci sento bene.
Io non ho detto sua sorella, ma solamente detto sua sorella di Flicorno, non sua sorella.
Non sono così spiritoso da apprezzare queste finezze. Lei faccia il suo lavoro di direttore, muova la bacchetta, che ai parenti nostri ci pensiamo noi, vabbè?
Allora avanti 5-2-0, prego.
No, maestro. No, adesso no. I professori sono molto turbati. Scusi, ma io credo che non possono continuare la prova.
Ma per diavolo, ma cosa volete voi di me? Volete farmi diventarmi matto? Che volete? Volete aver mio culo? Prego, qui avete lui!
Signori, tutta l'orchestra in pausa doppia, 20 minuti.
The next one here is from Arrow Films, and this is Scalpel. Yeah, this is by John Grissmer, the writer and director of Nightmare at Shadow Woods, aka Blood Rage. And knowing that these two are both by the same guy, you can see a little bit of it, the crazy family dynamics in them, but there's a lot of differences in here as well. Scalpel I had heard about for years, never watched it. It has Robert Lansing in it, who he looks so familiar, must be from TV or small bit parts, but I have to say that I fell in love with this guy's performance. In fact, the lead performances, the two, are tremendous in this movie. They're top-notch. This movie takes place in Georgia. It's shot in Georgia. I love those like southern kind of movies. I know Madhouse was shot in Georgia. The Slayer was shot in Georgia, and I really enjoy those movies too. There's something about the South, and this writer-director, the cinematographer, wanted this to be kind of like a southern gothic, which goes into that there's actually two versions of the movie on here. The original kind of looking movie print, and then they kind of altered it to make it look more, you know, like a southern gothic film. The story here is a bizarre one. We follow this plastic surgeon played by Robert Lansing, who there's this his father-in-law just died, and he's with his brother-in-law, and they were left nothing in the will. Their rich father-in-law gave them nothing, so they're SOL on money. They've basically stumbled across a woman who's been completely battered. Her face has been taken off by this bouncer, which is a really horrific scene. And the plastic surgeon starts to think, you know, my daughter's been missing for years, and all the money was left to my daughter. So he alters her face, makes a deal with this stripper, actually, to split the money, the $5 million, half and half. And things start to get complicated. These incestuous tones come out in the father, and this relationship starts with this stripper who looks just like his daughter. And there's these brilliant moments where they're at the funeral, and somebody dies, and they're celebrating, kind of, because this was the person's last request was have a party at my funeral. And they look at each other, and they talk about this in the special features, and they know they got away with something horrific, and they just start laughing. And Robert Lansing has this big evil smile. He looks like, to me, he looks like a mixture of, I had a thought, he looks like Robert Quarry or Robert Vaughn mixed with like a Chuck Connors. He has a very unique look. I love his performance. He's evil, he's creepy, he's sleazy, and he all has this nice southern flair to it. The lead actress in here, of course, you know the daughter's going to come back to complicate things. The real daughter. She plays dual roles in here, and they do a lot of split screen stuff, and you can't even really tell. I couldn't, at least, with doubles and stuff. Did a great job with that. I love the plot. I love all the reveals. I love that it's so dirty and sleazy and just gross at the same time. And there's an element of comedic stuff in here as well, kind of like Blood Rage. Although I used to think Blood Rage, a lot of that comedy wasn't necessarily on purpose, but after seeing this, I think a lot of this dark comedy in both these movies is serious and definitely on purpose. I mean, not serious, definitely on purpose. There's a beautiful flashback where they do these flashbacks about drowning, and then there's another flashback where he's saying one thing and they're showing another thing, and that is just a brilliant flashback. On here, they have interviews with the lead actress, which is nice. She talks about working with all the people. The director, there's a commentary by a film historian, which is very detailed. And there is an interview with the cinematographer as well. You know, it's a great release. It's a great movie that I had not seen, and I was really happy with it, impressed. It's probably one of my favorite film discoveries of 2018 so far, to take a page out of Rupert Pumpkin Speaks. Great blog site, by the way. But, one of my favorite recent discoveries of 2018. Probably going to be on my list for next year, or this year, I mean. But great stuff. Check it out from Arrow Video.
Write your name.
This is my favorite moment in the entire movie. Lanson's reaction to Snyder's line about funerals being depressing.
And I'm so happy you're here to see it. I hope you enjoy it.
Scalpel. In 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to be a very pretty girl. And you'll be ready to meet the family.
The next one here is kind of a crazy release. This is Cries of Ecstasy, Blows of Death. But it also includes, there's two movies on here, Invasion of Love Drones and Double D Experiment. Yeah, I checked these out. These are kind of softcore sexploitation movies, I'll say. But the Cries of Ecstasy is a weird one. Predating Mad Max, it is a post-apocalyptic sex movie. Yeah, blows my mind. There's kung fu in this. There's weird stuff going on. There's isolation vibes and creepiness and fighting and guns and rape and violence. Is it amazingly great, well done or anything? Not really, but there's all this cool, unique, weird stuff in it. Basically the world's running out of air. Nobody has air. There's these crazy bandits running around. Everybody has to wear these masks, and everybody seems to have this weird sexual relationship where you got to stay in this tent, you go to this tent, and all the people are super bizarre. Some of them are, you know, one guy is definitely a sadist who gets off on hurting and killing people. And then we have this poor guy whose wife is pregnant at one point. It gets pretty extreme in terms of actually plot details. It's not super gory or anything. But at points it will turn into a kung fu movie. It is very downbeat at the ending. And it's shot in a desert, which is kind of cool. There's actually some, nice locations in this one. It's a unique, interesting movie. And I think it's worth checking out. Especially if you like sexploitation movies. What was the other one? I'm sorry, I gotta look again. There's so many times. Invasion of the Love Drones. That one actually is insane as well. This one, the plot makes me laugh just thinking about it. What we have here is these aliens that want to basically take over the Earth by turning everyone into these sex drones. So they send these drones down and they basically rape or, seduce people, and when they have sex with them, they turn into sex drones, and of course it spreads like some crazy STD virus. But there's only the one person can stop them, STD researcher, so we have that going on. But what's crazy about this movie is that when the robots or the drones, the sex drones climax, they normally look like people, but when they climax, they turn into these weird, strange robots. Super crazy, super weird, and has one of the nastiest rape scenes I've seen. A gang rape of this poor agent who's trying to stop them, all the drones attack her and rape her, and it just was like, this is way crazier than I expected in this scene. But it's just really weird, packed with nudity, of course, as is the other one. Lots of sex, lots of nudity. A super crazy, bizarre movie that I think is actually probably maybe a faster watch than the other one. I don't know if it's a better watch. The short movie on here, not short, but the bonus feature, the bonus feature, Double D Experiment, it's not particularly good. Has a lot of nudity, but it's one of these deals, kind of like, what was the other one that one of the Afghan films had on it, where it's like, hey, I'm creating women to have sex with, and it backfires at the end and it turns into an orgy. Not really good. Double D Experiment, and that print looks a little rough. The other ones look a little better, a lot better, I'll say, especially the Invasion of the Love Drones. But they're an interesting release. 3 movies, a lot of bang for your buck. Yeah.
This dawn shall be the last for my creation, recorded in this ledger under the heading of man. His ruthless pollution and desire for control of my paradise is finally bringing about an end to his existence.
Those of us still loyal to the state must be firm with enforcement procedures.
You're killing them, General! You're murdering both of them! General! What if this is the one that'll get us out of this mess?
The next one here is by Joe Meredith. This is a short. This is South Mill District. He got this to me quick. If you guys know Joe Meredith, you should. Look at that cover art. You'll know exactly who he is. Joe Meredith is an artist. He does a lot of cover art for a lot of film covers. He does a lot of the Dustin Mills stuff. So that cover, his artwork has always been very poignant to me. Like, it sticks out. It's very unique, and I enjoy it. And you know, so I was excited to see what he was going to do, film it. It popped up, and I ordered it. The link will be below if you're interested. But yeah, 25 minutes short. And I was thinking, this is going to be in the style like a James Bell maybe, you know, like dangerous and weird and experimental. And that's kind of what it was. It appears that some sort of a post-apocalyptic thing had happened where aliens invaded Earth and they mixed their DNA with people. And it creates all these crazy kind of mutations. Reminds me of something like Blood Pigs by Brian Pollan and like a James Bell kind of, what is it, not Tantrum or Nutsack, one of those kind of deals that he made. So it feels like that kind of stuff going on. The location's great. I like where he chose to shoot. Lots of shots of factories and just grimy kind of stuff. The special effects are, you know, cheap and crude, but very effective, and there's a lot of them, and there's blood, and there's a lot of stop motion in here of the creatures. And at points, it's very gross. You can see the seams sometimes, and I kind of like that. I love the stop motion stuff. The creatures are some sort of arachnid type deal, so you'll see them crawl out of people's brains when heads are cut open, and there's one like it's like a crab spider in there, and that is intense and just insane. Like I said, it has narration. The main character is played by Joe Meredith himself, and Toby Johansson pops up in here from what was the one, Hacksaw, that he was in. So it has a couple familiar faces in here. There's lots of nasty bits of gore, and for a 25-minute experimental movie, I wanted more, and that's the best kind of thing to do these, and it leaves you on the cliffhanger. I think there's more to come, but I wanted more, and that's probably the best thing I can say when you watch one of these kind of things where you're like, I want to continue the story, I want to keep going. But it's very low budget, you know. The music is droney but very good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the editing was fairly solid, although I did see like seams on the special effects, but I kind of expect that, and you know, but a lot of them were really fun and inventive, and I dug it. I really enjoyed it, man. Good work, Joe Meredith. I'll be checking out your stuff from here on out, and congrats. The next one is The Pick of the Week by Adam Weber. I couldn't find Dan D. He didn't get a hold of me, so I messaged Adam Weber, who enters the contest every time and never won. So I said, man, I'm gonna bump you ahead. What did you want me to watch? And he picked Carnage Park by Mickey Keating. I had seen Pod. I believe he did that one, and I really liked Pod. I thought Pod was great. So Carnage Park, yeah, this one I just watched today. I watched it on Netflix, so that was pretty cool. Right when it started, I was like, man, this is like Reservoir Red State Killers. It's like Reservoir Dogs, Natural Born Killers, and Red State, all thrown into one, and a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mickey Keating definitely wears his influences on his sleeves, but you know, it's nothing like Pod, so it goes to show you that this guy can do lots of different things as far as these two movies are concerned, because they're completely different. Alan Ruck is in this, and Pat Healy, who I love. Pat Healy is an underrated actor. Everything he pops up and he's really good. Carnage Park follows this woman who's kidnapped in a bank robbery by these two idiots, these morons, and they're driving to Mexico, and there's this guy out in the middle of nowhere, this war vet from Vietnam. This movie must take place in the early 70s, I believe, Vietnam, and he's out there, and anybody that crosses his path, he puts in this Carnage Park, this game of death, where he tortures and shoots and kills people. He has fun doing it. He's obviously traumatized. He has a relationship with the sheriff, they're brothers, so that explains why these people can go missing and he can get a little bit more leeway, unlike Wrong Turn did, where they have a whole junkyard full of cars, and you're like, huh, that's weird. If a plane went over, you know where all those missing people are. Not a fan of Wrong Turn, sorry. But Carnage Park tries to make up for some of that. The dialogue, a lot of times, especially in the beginning from, who is it, Scorpion Joe, I believe it's Scorpion Joe, is directly lifted from a Tarantino movie. This guy walked off one of those, like, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, or Love It of 45 movies, those kind of, like, rip-offs of Tarantino's. He's coming off this hard. And he's a pretty good actor, but it definitely feels like that. It definitely feels like a Tarantino rip-off. It opens up like Texas Chainsaw with the little bit of lines in the beginning. You'll understand exactly what they're talking about if you've seen Texas Chainsaw, and if you haven't, go watch it, please. For the love of God. But yeah, it has all these mixtures of you know, stuff, and it feels like that. In the opening, I think the first and the second parts are great, and the last part is the weakest, but it's all still good. My only complaint about the movie is they set this dynamic with the brothers, and it doesn't pay off like it should. We do one of those deals where it's like somebody accidentally does something to somebody else that they don't want to do, and it's like, can we be done with that? Like, I know it's probable, but we've seen it so many times, and it's so trite and cheap at this point. It's like, okay, here we go. We're gonna do this again. And that is my only complaint about the movie. Besides that, it's brutal. It's well acted, especially, and the female lead in this movie, she makes good decisions, and I love seeing that. Like, I think so. Maybe I'm a moron, but I thought she was making decisions that I would have made. Like, she's handcuffed to somebody who's dead. So, you know, instead of dragging the body or just crying or doing something like a lot of other victims would do in movies, she bashes the hand off with a rock. I love that. I think that's great. I like that she gets a gun at one point and fights back, and she's tough as nails and crazy. Not the biggest fan of the ending, but there's nothing particularly wrong with it. But yeah, I think it's a pretty damn cool movie. It's got its brutality, and after you get past the first 10 minutes, and you're like, man, this is too Tarantino, it's kind of feeling like a ripoff, it becomes its own thing, and it has all these inspirations, and it works, and it mixes them well. I think it's pretty damn good. I was happy with it. I do want to check out his other movies, Darling and Psychopaths, but I wish they would get United States Blu-ray releases, or I probably won't be buying them. I'll just probably buy them on Vudu, because why buy them when they're not on HD? Why buy a standard when I can buy the Vudu on the HD on Vudu? But I would really recommend checking Carnage Park out. I only have a DVD, of course, but this is on Blu-ray from Scream IFC. Recommended, good stuff, gritty, and good music choices as well. Big Bad John, I loved hearing that. I love that song. It's one of my favorites. So hearing that pop up in the movie was really good. Pat Healy, great performance. Lead actress was great in here. Larry Fessenden has a role, and his scene with the lead actress actually was making me really, really sad. It's very, very intense and very depressing. But yeah, good stuff.
Well, howdy. What you doing out here? A couple of fellas decided to hold up the farming bank. Woo! They were last seen driving in this direction. They ain't here. These boys took old Tom Fontaine's daughter with them. Not by her volunteer, of course. What's that got to do with me? How far does the Scream travel out here, Wyatt? Not too far.
Hello?
I know you're there!
The next one, oh, Sarah Reed won, and she picked a movie called Going Home or Going Through Home. It's like 1970. I'm going to have to find it for the pick movie, so here's what we have. If you want to pick a movie, leave a comment in the Screaming Toilet saying you want to pick a movie, or on YouTube, or wherever you see it, Facebook. I'll find it, I'll find you, and I'll enter you. Who do we got? Nick Mua. I added you in. I'm pretty sure you wanted to be entered. We didn't have many people in this time because I'm doing the video fairly early. So please, I love picking these movies. I love the pick a movie segment. Having a lot of fun doing it. But Nick Mua, send me what you want me to review. I'll get on it ASAP. Next week will be Sarah Reed's, and the week after that will be yours. But yeah, we have Jonathan Wilhelm. His question is Count Chocula versus Blueberry versus Frankenberry. Who you got in a no-holds-barred backstreet brawl? Okay, I'm going to paint the picture for you. They all meet up. Let's say they're roommates. They're getting sick of each other's crap. I'm tired of all this crap. You're coming in all hours of the night, Frankenberry. You're waking Count Chocula up. You know he has to sleep during the day. Whatever. Blueberry is working 50 hours a week. He looks so depressed all the time. He's working 60, 70 hours a week. They're at it wit's end. So the brawl starts. They go at it. Nobody can hit Blueberry because he's a freaking ghost. So Blueberry just sits in the corner and mopes. Frankenberry and Count Chocula are going at it. But Count Chocula's rotten, chocolate-ridden teeth can't bite through Frankenberry's neck. So right when Frankenberry's got Count Chocula, he's strangling the life out of him. Out of nowhere comes Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy. They jump in. They all start tackling each other, and Yummy Mummy starts to strangle Frankenberry with his fruity wrappings, and Frankenberry's getting a little bit dizzy. He's going down, but then he realizes, he freaks out. He rips the mummy in pieces because he's made of freaking fruit bandages. The werewolf comes in, Fruit Brute, rips apart Count Chocula, and then it's Frankenberry versus Fruit Brute. They go at it. They're tearing each other to shreds. By the time it's over, neither of them are standing. Blueberry's in the corner, not touched, looking depressed. Even more depressed now because all his friends are dead. Blueberry wins. Because he didn't do nothing. He pulled a Ric Flair. He sat under the ring and waited until he was the last man in the Royal Rumble. Okay. Nick, what short story, novella, novel would you like to crack at to direct or write a screenplay for? Any movie genre that you never watch, even if threatened by raving zombie? I would love, to do an accurate I Am Legend. Not saying I could, but the Richard Matheson book. I mean, I love Omega Man, but I didn't want to see I Am Legend, the one with Will Smith, because they made this movie that's supposed to be small and personal, suburban, into this giant city thing. And I was like, that's not I Am Legend. And they made all the creatures look the same. It's like, does that mean Corman's not in it? I mean, I need that personal stuff in there. And I like the little bits where, what is it? He accidentally kills a real vampire. I think that I Am Legend would be a really good one to do. Any movie genre that you never watch? I don't like watching possession or ghost movies. Some old ones, newer ones, found footage, those, like I said. But I don't watch too many musicals. But old 50s ones, that's one that I don't think I would be particularly interested in. But I am willing to check them out. Adam Weber, interested in picking up The Last Hunter, Antonio's other film, Cannibal Apocalypse. Also, The Sadist. Dave, thoughts? I want to be entered in the pick. Okay, The Sadist I haven't seen, but I've always wanted to. The Last Hunter's great. Cannibal Apocalypse is great. Tiger Joe's great, and The Last Tornado's great. They're all great. Cannibal Apocalypse doesn't have a Blu-ray release. I don't know if it's going to get one in Studio Canal over in UK, and it's going to be hard to determine if there's going to be one, because Umbrella just released it, and if they had the elements, they would have done a Blu-ray. So I don't know. Maybe they're not going to have it, but really recommend to check both those movies out. Let's get into the updates. First, we have Dark City. This has both cuts on there. I've never seen Dark City. I've heard only good things, pretty much. Hamilton Books had a great sale. Wolf Guy for $15. This has a bunch of features on here, I'm sure of it. They have a new interview with Sonny Chiba and with the director, which is great. This is one of the only arrows I needed. We have a couple Kino Lorbers. We have Tough Guys with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. I wanted to see this for a long time. This is one of like 8 or 9 movies. It's maybe 7 movies these guys did together. It's kind of a comedy. Looks fun. We have Star Crystal. I not seen Star Crystal in years, but I don't think this has any features on it. But Star Crystal, I have a great story with. Me and my buddy were watching it one day on VHS. We put it in. We're like, okay, let's check this out. And it starts off like an Alien ripoff, and we were like, this is terribly boring and horrible. And then about 75% through the movie, there's this weird twist in there, and it turns into E.T. And we thought it was the funniest thing ever when we were like 13, 14. Maybe we're even like 17. We could not stop laughing at it, the twist in there. So I'd really like to watch it again with them and see if it holds up. We have another one from Hamilton Books, $15, Code Red, man. Weekend Murders. This Italian movie. It has a audio commentary with Star, which is great, on-camera interview as well, and the original trailer on there. This, I believe, is not the TV cut, but the original theatrical cut. The Strangeness. I haven't seen this in years. I have the DVD. This is another Code Red. This is a bizarre movie. There's an audio commentary on here, on-camera interviews with some of the actors, 6 short films. So yeah. Cool stuff. Weird movie, weird monster movie. Stop motion creature in a cave. Looks like a vagina, if I remember correctly. A Shock to the System, another Hamilton Books, one that was on sale. This is a Shout Select. We have a commentary with the director, interview as well, an alternate ending. So that's cool. Heard good things about that from the Shockwaves. I think Rebecca McKendry mentioned that. The Naked Cage, from the director of Chained Heat. This was only $10, so yeah. This has not many actual features on here, I don't think. So there's no features on there. From Scream Shout. We have The Evictors, which is Charles B. Pierce's other movie besides The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I think he did The Legend of Boggy Creek as well. But this is actually a pretty cool movie. There's not much as far as special features are on here, but this is was released with The Town That Dreaded Sundown in standard def. But it has a nice cast. It has Michael Parks and Jessica Harper and who's the other? Vic Morrow. So yeah, it's a nice cast. We have Contamination 7, a.k.a. Crawlers, a.k.a. Troll 3. Again from Scream Factory. I want to see this. It's funny that no special features. None of the Troll movies actually have trolls in them except the first one. We have trolls, then goblins, and then like weird roots. I don't know. Love that case though. Then we have another from Scream Shout. What's the Matter with Helen? I've not seen this one. This is a Curtis Harrington movie who did some of the Ruby. He did Ruby. This is theatrical spot. No real features on here. And then we have two Spanish double feature from Scream, The Night of the Sorcerers and A Loreley's Grasp. Pretty cool stuff here. We have commentary for Loreley's Grasp on here, and the special features alternate footage for Night of the Sorcerers. But yeah, I love that Scream's starting to do some of these more Spanish and Italian Euro horror. I like that. We have some DVDs here. We have the Roger Corman Cult Classics double feature, Big Bad Mama and Big Bad Mama 2. These don't really have many. These have a bunch of features. Audio commentaries with Steve Carver, director of photography, Leonard Moulton interview with Corman, Mama Knows Best, a retrospective featuring with Roger Corman, director Steve Carver, a bunch of features. And then Big Bad Mama 2's got audio commentary with director Jim Wynorski, Leonard Moulton interviews with Corman, interview with actor Bruce Glover. So yeah, these look like they're loaded. I love those Corman releases. I'm trying to pick them all up. And then we have another one, Streets and Angel in Red, another double Corman feature. As far as the features on this are concerned, we have just New World trailers, so there's not not much to speak of. But yeah, you see, I'm trying to keep that included with the audio podcast, the stuff I picked up, so people will be interested and look at the features and whatnot. But I really appreciate you guys checking it out. Remember, if you don't want to watch the video, there will be an audio version from the Shut Up Brandon feed, Podbeam or iTunes. Just subscribe, enjoy it. Spread the word if you like what you see. You know, the more you spread the word, the more titles I'll cover, the more I'll do this, the more I'll put into it, and the more hopefully you guys will get out of it. I appreciate everything. I really do. Ask questions, whatever. Enter the pick a movie. I love what you guys are picking me to watch and whatnot. Steer me in the right direction. But as always, you guys have a good one.
Okay, this is kind of like a half-assed room tour. I said I'd show my Blu-rays right now. It's not perfect, and the lighting's not very great in here, so bear with me. But we'll go up, we'll start at the top. That's like kind of the bigger, bulkier stuff. Well, the Blood Feast Arrow box, and then there's just some books and memorabilia, and then we start the Arrow collection. Let's see if I can get back here. I started with the UK stuff. All the imports, even if they have been released in the States. So we have a lot of Arrow, and then we get into the actual releases. I put these in number order because I had quite a bit. I thought I had enough to do it. The Bride Reanimator actually is an import, but it has the same spine as the American release. And we continue with Arrow, Blu-rays, and then we jump into Criterion. There's no real rhyme or reason what goes. Still in Criterion. If you guys see anything that you want me to review that I haven't reviewed already, let me know, because that can be the one from the Pick a Week, or Pick a Movie. We have some Vinegar Syndrome. I think I'm caught up on all the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-rays in alphabetical order. This room I keep with blackout curtains, and then we're in Severin. Continuing with Severin. Synapse Steelbooks, Synapse some more. We got Cult Epics, Massacre Video, Chroma, and then we hit the Scream stuff, all mixed in with Shout Factory in alphabetical order. The only stuff I kept separate was the IFC. I haven't done these with company order on everything. I'll probably do some more like MPI, Dark Sky, stuff like that. Maybe even Anchor Bay and Bagnet. Still with the Scream stuff. The DVDs are all somewhere else. Get into the Corman stuff, the double features, the IFC Scream joint ventures. And then we have some 4K disc. Then we go in alphabetical order here for some reason. There's more companies other places, but I don't know why. I just decided to go ABC here. Got imports, got a bunch of stuff. Some Dustin Mills in there. Sorry if it's going a little quick. There's some Japanese imports in there. Cockfighter, Extreme Prejudice. My knee just popped. Thanks a lot, guys. And I'm on the bottom, so this is a little difficult. And then we'll go over to more alphabetical stuff. Let me close this closet for you guys. These shelves are fairly nice and fairly inexpensive. Right now they're on sale for $54 on Amazon, $51. I don't know if they're going to stay that way. I paid $70 for both of mine. Well, I paid $70 each. I have two of these big black shelves here. Still in alphabetical order. And then that stuff is stuff that I have to update or for review, so I'm not going to show that. Even though half of them will probably be in this video, if all of them will be, so I guess it doesn't matter. This is going to be at the end of the week 41. And here we go. Almost done with the ABC stuff. Then we can get into some more companies. We have some big blocky Blu-ray releases, some like imports, Tales of Halloween, Resurrected. I don't have the Scream, but that, and then the Goonies. And then we have some extra shelf here, just in case. Ooh, this looks terrible here, right here, because the lighting. Sorry about that, but these are Code Red. Still some more Code Red. We're in the, I think, Scorpion now. And then I think we start with the Kino Scorpion double venture joints. And then we get into the Kino. Kino's having a sale right now too. Lots of Kino titles. I love the spines like that because it just, I wish everything looked like that. I'm serious because I'm crazy like that. I just want it all to match. Then we have some of the Bava collection. I think everything they put out. Then we have the Pete Walker or the Gene Roland, Jess Franco, Pete Walker stuff. I don't know if I don't have all the Jess Franco. I think I have all the Gene Roland and Pete Walker stuff. And then we have some more Kino oddball looking titles. Then we have Olive Films, which has a nice catalog. People will be surprised, I think. Slasher Video, Mondo Macabro, Shameless, Grindhouse. Having trouble getting down here. Blue Underground. Another great company. Then we got Full Moon. And then we start the 88 films. Then we have the Vestron, all 14. We have Twilight Time. Then we have a Space. And then down here we have Raro. Sorry guys. And we have some On Earth films. We have some Sub Rosa titles. Real dark down here, I apologize. And then we have some Alamo Draft House titles cancel it to finish it up. Whatever I'm saying, I obviously don't know. And then here, hopefully the light's decent enough, we have some hard boxes that aren't Blu-rays up here. Massacre stuff, XT, all sorts of stuff. Somebody's alarm's going off. And then we have the Massacre video tapes. I think I'm all caught up on the tapes. Those guys in the VHS groups will call them bootlegs. Real cool, bro. I'm just being a dick. That just cracks me up how petty some people can be. Who cares? I like them. They make me happy. And then that's to finish it out. Those are some doubles on Blu-ray. And then we got some more oddball re-release VHSs. My actual VHSs are downstairs as well. Some Voltras. And we have some Laserdisc down here. Some other things. Let's see if the lighting will help me. There's some good stuff in there. The Keep, Meet the Applegate, stuff like that. So that's pretty much the room. There I have those. I have a Gatorbait poster. There's a bed. This is a spare guest bedroom. So if you ever crash here, this is a blackout window that looks really creepy. You'll be stuck in a Blu-ray room. But surrounded by Blu-rays. If you guys enjoyed that, I'll do the DVDs next.